All right, guys, it's TeamStrub day 90. Welcome to New Jersey. It's state number 44 of the summer, and I'm thrilled to be joined here this afternoon by Bruce Boyd of B.O.Y.D. So, Bruce, thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon.
Thank you for coming and having Boyd as one of your stops.
Yeah, no, this is really exciting to make it to New Jersey again. We're in the final stretch of my 50-state tour, and so I'd love for you to introduce yourself, tell the world sort of who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Bruce Boyd. I am the founder of Building Our Youth Development. We are in our 12th year of providing services to students in New Jersey, and it's an enrichment program, and we pride ourselves on from the neck up. So from STEM programs to life skills to character education to book clubs, we do everything to prepare our students for the next phase of life.
Great. Give me the nuts and bolts of the program. Kids come in, now we're during the summer, so it's a Monday through Friday thing?
Yeah, Monday through Friday for the first part of the morning sessions are math, reading, and writing. And the second part of the program, we're actually doing journalism. We did CPR training, and now we are into our entrepreneurial process where they are doing SWOT analysis, strategic planning, budgets, and marketing. So they are creating their own business with a T-shirt.
Can you take a minute and explain, and we just had a chance to listen to Mr. Boyd address the group, what is SWOT analysis?
SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that every business must have, but it's not really about a business. It's so much more about students or scholars understanding what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and how do they turn their weaknesses into opportunities and avoid the threats at all costs.
How do kids get involved with the program?
Our program is really one of the grassroots organizations, and by the stretch of everything is really done through Facebook, Instagram, and word of mouth. We have, in our 12 years, we have never gotten a federal grant, never gotten a state grant. So it's all through word of mouth, all through donations, and all through our program. It is a cost. There is a tuition for our program, but we try to keep it at a bare minimum.
What's the age range?
Ages from 9 years old all the way up to 17 years old.
Okay, and you said you've been doing this 12 years?
12 years.
So you've seen, I'm guessing, you've seen some kids come all the way through the program.
Yeah. Well, some stay with the program.
Some stay with the program?
But some, when they get a little older, they want jobs. So what we have incorporated within our program is every day we say every day of your life is an interview. So we interview some of our scholars, and during the course of the year, we pick about 3 or 4, and then they go on an interview, and they compete for a internship, and they get paid to work with us over the summer.
Bruce, why do you do this?
Why? Because there was a time when, so many times no one gave it to us. So there were so many things in my life when I got older that I found that if I only had this when I was growing up, I would have been somewhere else in life. If someone only told me this, and if someone only held my hand through this process of what we call life as a young person, I could have been somewhere else. But in recognizing and realizing that, I'm right where I needed to be, so that I could be that someone for the ones that look just like me growing up.
Wow. A lot of these kids, you're taking the group to travel. You're heading to Baltimore last week, and you're heading down to Selma soon, too?
Yes. Well, we have a motto that education happens everywhere. So education isn't just about being in a room in the classroom, but education is life. So when we take our scholars out on these, we call them student study trips, they learn so much about life. They learn so much about history. They learn so much about, again, who they are. And in turn, they are then able to tell others about their adventures, their journeys. So this summer we have gone to Baltimore, we have gone to Alexandria, Virginia, we've gone to New York. So someone like you, but on a smaller scale, we've taken these trips. We're going to Lancaster in a couple of days, and then our big trip is to Selma. So we're going to recreate walking over the Edmund Pettus Bridge, But in the process, we're going to Greensboro, North Carolina. We're
Nice.
going to Atlanta. We're going to Montgomery and Birmingham, and then we end up in Selma. One of the things we like to do is that we're bringing the history books to life for our scholars.
That's great. Well, if you're coming down 85 and you're coming through Greenville, South Carolina, if you guys stop and have lunch, I'll come say hi.
Okay.
That's right along the way there. What are the biggest challenges facing youth today? We're in the Trenton area, is that true?
Right. We're in the Trenton area, but we consider ourselves the Mercer County and Burlington County.
Okay.
So we have students from Mercer County and Burlington County merged together here in Willingboro.
Why do the kids in this area need a program like this?
I believe kids in the entire 50 states that you travel need a program like this, but mainly the program is needed everywhere, because so many times schools aren't doing what's necessary for kids to survive. Many schools don't talk about bank accounts. Many schools don't talk about how to become an entrepreneur. Many schools just have so many other things that they have to do as far as education, and that's what Boyd comes in to say, let's talk about education, but let's sustain them with what the real world looks like. A lot of times, Chris, I'm sorry, when kids are growing up, you say, you better get a job. Well, what does a job look like? So we take our students and our scholars on job shadows, and so they can understand, well, with minimum education, you could be a cashier. With a little bit more education, you could be a store manager. With a little bit more education, you can become a general manager. So you have to understand, what does education look like, and what does a job look like, and where do you see yourself in this world? Do you see yourself as a worker, as an employer, or one and two, both as a worker and employer?
Do you have volunteers participate in the program?
Yeah, we do. We have about 4 or 5 volunteers that participate in the summer program, and then we have about 3 that participate in the fall winter program.
And in the fall, the program transitions to a once a week type thing?
Once a week, yeah. Once a week on Saturdays. We consider Boyd as a family, so when they'll come in this year. We're going to read Hill Harper's Letter to a Young Brother and Hill Harper's Letter to a Young Sister, and that will be their required reading, and reading it, and then we get into reading circles and discuss it, because one thing is for sure, we know that when students read, they have questions. So as the adults, we will be able to answer those questions in the group setting, because many of our students may have the same question and they didn't know how to ask it. But when we come together, we can discuss the book, we can discuss the opportunities that persist in the book, and allow them to be fulfilled. You know, not just I read this book, but I read this book with meaning. And then the second part of the program is the STEM component of the program. So they will learn, what are we doing this year? Again, we'll be doing more entrepreneurial projects, but also some type of a STEM program that we will put in place.
And I loved on the door there, you're talking about preparing them for a Fortune 500 company.
Right,
It must
right.
be exciting.
Right. Again, it's all what you interpret. It's all what you've been fed. So daily, weekly, we are feeding our young scholars to understand that they are going to be in Fortune 500 companies, and they should be able to make their own fortune in these companies.
Tell the world that's watching now, you're a New Jersey native.
New Jersey. I grew up in Trenton.
In Trenton.
In Trenton, and
what's so great about life in New Jersey?
Life in New Jersey is great because we have opportunities. You know, life is what you make it. So one of the things that I feel that's great about New Jersey is we're right in the middle of Philadelphia and New York. So we're a hop, skip, and a jump away from big metropolitan areas where you can see movers and shakers in life. And sometimes we just take students and just say, look, everyone's walking and moving with a purpose. You have to identify each day, wake up and understand what is your purpose. And again, your fingerprint is your mark. And how are you going to make your mark in this big world?
Where can people learn more about this program?
Sure. We're on YouTube, but we do have a website. It's BOYD-NJ.org. You can go to that site and you'll see videos that our kids are in that talk about the program, talk about us being a family-oriented program, an extended family, and there's some teaching tools. There's programs that we do have. We have a program for parents. We have a program for administrators, and we have after-school component programs. So we consider ourselves the organization that is 360 degrees of the child. So we like to have we like to get our parents involved. We like to get our schools involved. Anything that will assist our scholars in becoming the best that they can be in life.
Bruce, Mr. Boyd, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for coming.
We're going to steal a couple more minutes of your time for the Snapchat Q&A. I don't know if you've ever done that before, and then we'll be on the road to Wilmington. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I guess